in Horsebush, which is in Waharoa on the Hauraki Plains, and this is Norm, who is an ecologist for Manaaki Whenua. Now Norm, this is a bit of a remnant kahikatea forest. It's pretty special. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, in the Waikato region, there's less than 2% of the original kahikatea forest left. We're here in Horsebush because it's actually a really nice example of the local kahikatea forest ecosystems. And where we're standing right now, we've got a really nice representation of native species in all the different tiers of the forest. So we've got the kahikatea dominating the canopy, but we also have a lot of native species in the shrub sub-canopy layer and also in the ground cover layer. And so this is really rare for these forests in the Waikato because of historic grazing and also the impacts of weeds smothering out the natives in the lower tiers. And so we're really grateful to have this place protected for us.
Yeah, because it's just such a small pocket, so it's really nice to know that this bit is intact, it's sustainable, it's got little seedlings growing out of it, and you can harvest things from here to grow in other areas.
Yes, that's right, because the plants that are growing here are adapted to our local environment. It can be really important for collecting eco-sourced seed, so we can take that seed and grow it on in nurseries to produce well-adapted plants to increase our forest area or connect our existing forest areas, which is really important when what we have left is so fragmented.
And great way to increase biodiversity in other areas and extend this remnant. So thinking about not just the plants that live in this forest, you've been researching the pekapeka, long-tailed bat.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, the long-tailed bat's a fascinating wee critter. And they're right throughout the Piako catchment, which is amazing for us. They're nationally critical, which is the highest threat status that any native New Zealand species can have. And so they're really, really valuable from a biodiversity point of view. And so now as a community, we have a really, really big responsibility to look after them, which is great because if you're living on a farm or you're living in a rural town, you might not think you can have a role in conserving biodiversity, but here in the Piako catchment we can. Everyone can have a role to play, be it through protecting habitat like this, which is really important. These big old trees are where the bats like to roost, in holes or under loose bark, but also in helping out with pest control programs, so predator-free programs, because everything we do to control pest numbers is going to help our long-tailed bats as well.
Yeah, sure, and that's a whole community effort. So you've been involved in a bit of restoration. Can we go and have a look at that?
Yeah, sure. Let's go, Shirley.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Norm, it looks like you've been really busy planting out this area. Why plant this place in particular?
Well, it's not just me, it's a whole community effort. All these trees were planted back in June. We had about 80 people out on the day, planting a total of, I think it was about 1,900 plants. So really good effort, lots of involvement, lots of enthusiasm. What we're trying to do is recreate the understory. So we can see here, we've got the big trees, we've got lots of canopy, but there's nothing in the understory because we've had cows through here for over decades. And they've eaten all the plants and the plants have been replaced by grass. And so what we're trying to do is connect up Horsebush, which is just behind us here, and this privately owned fragment by re-establishing this understory. So we're hoping to have a continuous understory from Horsebush right to that other bit of bush. And in that way, really creating a bigger single habitat rather than just a bunch of smaller ones. So that's the long-term goal. Yeah.
Yeah, and what a goal to have. And it's neat to see this all fenced off, protected, and a bit of a plan for the future. Kia ora, Norm. Thanks so much for showing us.
Yeah, no worries, Shirley. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah.
Cheers.